Hello everybody and welcome back to WoW Mods. And this week, well, we're back somewhere familiar, as you can see. And why are we here? Well, it's time for the High Elf revamp. So I've been talking about this for a while, but the revamp was I had certain ideas for how these buildings should be restored, and how we could sort of like mix the progressive ruin state to it being progressively renewed. So here we have a sample of one of the building variants that I've been using. I've removed the older glitchy version of the entrance to this building, which is fine. We'll probably get around to that at some other point. But here we are. So we've got some golden trim. We've got the lit windows and appropriately colored roofs. We also have the interiors. So far, I don't want to show you because I don't want to show you or go inside the interiors too much because there's not much to see. Part of that is dressing, and part of that is like determining about whether or not I'm going to do some changes regarding the interiors. But that is the smallest of the buildings, obviously, or amongst one of the smaller versions of the buildings. We're gonna move right now into the town, and you will see, obviously, of course, the main palace structure, some of the towers, and some of the shops have how they've been constructed. So as we go in, you can definitely start seeing what some of those changes are, with the very, very large palace spire standing out. It's roughly about the same size as the previous tower that was there. It's sort of just been built upon, and then you have, of course, the massive wings. Why the color scheme? I think it works. I think toning down the golden, considering that this isn't in its prime, is great. And I also think that the white stone is pretty elegant. So moving over here, we have, this is where the bank used to be and all the stuff used to be on the outside. Now we go into the inside, and obviously we've got the bank vaults, we've got some piles of gold, we've got banker NPCs to your delight. The next thing that we're going to take a look at is, this used to be the market stall. It's now been added and fully repaired. One of the things that I'm currently missing is a decent set of stairs that we can use to actually explore this, which is something that I was completely forgetting. Oh, I have flying enabled. That works very well. So we have here the markets. Some of the NPCs need to be moved. They're not exactly, they're in their previous location, not exactly the forefront of where there should be. So this is one variant, a tall building enough to allow that. We have the tower over there in the back. And sorry, let me just fidget around here. If we go to the Dawnwell, and then do our usual trek around the back and come to this sort of like the secluded little home. Though it seems like it's the same, it's different. The dome shapes are slightly different. This is a slightly shorter version. It's intended more to be sort of like a bit more homely. That was the idea of the Lego built structure that I had here before. So that is another variant as well. Now, going in, I'm ignoring the big boy, obviously. And this is the palace structure based off of some other elf palace structures. Before anyone points out, oh, but you're using night elf structures. Some night elf structures are based off of high elf structures, and by high elf I mean, you know what I mean. Look it up in the lore, they're the same thing. So we have here the palace itself. We've moved the Sun Court NPCs up top here. There's still some dressing that that needs to be done. We've got like the brand new carpet, all of the themed elements, and then we'll take a look at it from the other side. But yeah, I'm very happy of how this came about. It had always been an idea of mine that I would be making a sort of like fully renovated court building with spires, not as grand as the ones in Silvermoon, obviously, but grand enough that you could that a minor race could warrant. Right. So here we have another variant, and this is sort of like I call them the double towers or the towers. And obviously they house some shops. More stuff needs to be dressing here. Things on the walls, things, structures hanging off of the roof and whatnot. And you can see these have the preferential building topper as well as the wing on the side. So that's pretty cool. We've got the same thing here. It doesn't seem like I've changed quite a bit, but some of these buildings actually did have to be moved because not everything was exactly the same size. Some of the paths needed to be altered. So there is a significant shift, if not major movement of structures. So this is, for example, empty, but it's going to contain, like, you know, all this stuff for bowmans and all that other stuff as well. Here we're going to have, obviously, the NPCs for tailoring and whatnot. Now we're going to go over to the front, because the front is unfinished. I was debating on whether or not I actually wanted to release this as is. Not release it, but like show you this as is, or if I wanted to continue working on it. And I thought, you know, given that I'm not putting out videos on the weekly basis right now, it would probably be better for me to just show you what's going on. So one of the things that's going to happen from these towers, there's going to be a wall, and that wall is going to roughly follow the path of this of the stone wall barrier, and it's going to connect to that tower. There might be a gateway here, not entirely sure, but the new entrance is all going to be up to the palace itself. The palace itself is sort of like an entrance structure. You know, given the constraints of the amount of land that I have to build in, I thought that that was a good idea, and I still think it is. So what we're going to have here is we're going to have walls that go from here to, actually, from here to here, and from here to there, and that will sort of secure the High Elf reconstruction effort. And that's what it's going to be. So now let's move down here. Obviously there are some other changes down here. We now have a proper lighthouse tower. That's the only thing right now down here that sort of looks that way. And then we have like variants on some of the buildings. So some of the homes, sorry, some of the homes. We've got the other variants, which is similar to the other one here, and then this taller double-tiered version as well. There's going to be more variants done down the line, but for the time being, I'm keeping it simple. There's also going to be closed-off versions, and I think I'm going to put a closed-off version here, just because we don't always need interiors. Right, so that's pretty much where we are right now with the High Elf restructuring mod. There's going to be a new building here, which is going to incorporate these towers, so they're just not standalone towers. And eventually, there's going to be a reconstructed version of this building, a little bit more complex and complicated, so I'll get to that when I get to it. But for the time being, yeah, I thought that I would go ahead and show you all where we're at. So I hope you enjoyed, hope you approve, hope that you stay with us till we get to see the next update on this area. But until next time, everybody, take it easy. Bye-bye.